Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I'm your host. And joining me this week is my go-to podcast compadre, Mr. Levi Fletcher. Levi, how you doing, pal?
I am doing well, James.
Good. This is a good on-running joke for people who've been listening, and for anyone who's just showing up for the first time. They'll be like, they got issues, man. They're already fighting. That's barely even begun. That's great. Well, I'm glad that you are doing well. You finally answered my question. Thank you. And thank you to everybody. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. If it's your first time, welcome. We like to talk about movies, games, TV shows, entertainment, basically in general. But if you're joining us for the second time or over 150 times, thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, let's get to the news. It's going to be kind of a shorter episode this week probably, but there's been some stuff that has come up. Levi, you are the biggest Jessica Jones and Punisher fan I know.
Yikes.
And both have now been canceled. How dare you? I am not surprised by this news, like that Netflix is canceling these. I don't know how you feel about those shows nowadays, and like, are you going to miss them?
I'm not going to miss them, but aren't they on a new streaming platform?
No, so here's the thing. Netflix made those, and they can stay on Netflix for years to come. The thought is that there's a chance that like Hulu could pick them up because Disney's going to own controlling stake in Hulu, so they could go over to that because Disney doesn't. There's like a weird thing where they don't want to support it, but also Netflix doesn't want to support like these TV shows if the movies aren't going to be, tied in to them. So they're kind of pulling the plug, which I'm not surprised about. People were like, oh man, they didn't like cancel Punisher a day after it came out. And I was like, you just wait. And Jessica Jones hasn't even come out with their third season yet. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote.
I'm not a big fan of the actor from Punisher, so that's cool by me. He was the worst thing about Walking Dead. So
yep, they forced you to hate him in that show. Like the first episode, even I remember I was like, oh god. And when they were like, he's gonna be the Punisher, and people were really excited about it. I don't think he's a bad actor. I just don't like him in that role. I just don't think he has the physicality, and he's definitely a different type of Frank Castle. So I'm still hoping that like they do something else with the Punisher in the MCU eventually, because I think that's a really cool character still. It's like clearly people like him. Would you want to see Punisher in the MCU?
Yeah, I'd like to see him. I did hear that people liked those seasons though. I mean,
yeah, they did. Yeah,
they weren't. It wasn't bombed, so it wasn't an Inhumans.
Yeah, man, that is so like Inhumans is so weird to me still to think that like it was going to be a movie, and then they're like, we're going to do a TV show, and 2 of the episodes are going to IMAX. It was just so like. Originally, remember, like Vin Diesel was going to be blackballed, and people were like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. It's going to be like X-Men in space," and then it just freaking fell apart. It was like, "Oh gosh, dang it, Marvel! Shield was better than that." Like, I never watched Inhumans, and I don't know if I ever will. Like, I kind of don't want to. I'm like,
no, I saw too much CGI Power Ranger fest, and I was like, nope, no thanks.
Sure, yeah. In interesting Marvel news, though, for TV shows, it sounds like we're getting a little more information on Loki coming up here. It sounds like Loki is going to be almost like Legends of Tomorrowing it, where it shows Loki throughout human history kind of going around and influencing different things. I think that can either be really zany or like hyper serious, and I'm guessing they're going to go with the former. Like, you don't want them like starting like World War I or something. Right.
I just got a flashback of Wolverine going through like all the wars.
Oh my gosh, dude! I love that sequence. I know it's in a not great movie, but I love that sequence. Are you still excited about Loki?
Sure. Why not?
Sure. Yeah. Tom Hiddleston needs your love and support.
This is coming to Disflix, or is this coming to Netflix?
It's coming to Disflix. Yeah. Okay. This is coming to Disflix or Disney.
Here on this channel, we refuse to call it Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, I like to call it. Yeah, Disflix. I still think is a missed opportunity, even though people would be like, that's weird. But yeah, I thought that was interesting to kind of get some fun news, but then also some kind of sad news. And I feel bad for anybody who is tied to these Marvel shows as far as like, the actors and the crew and everybody behind it. Because it's probably like, yeah, we made a good product and we won a bunch of awards. And now it's like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. So I'm sorry. I still want Daredevil season 4. That'd be cool. But honestly, at this point, I don't really want TV shows anymore. I just want more movies. Like, I just want Daredevil and Wilson Fisk to just be in the MCU, like fighting Spider-Man or fighting alongside Spider-Man or whatever. Yeah, that's what I want. Levi, all right. I want to move on to something here that is special to me, maybe not special to a lot of people. Did you ever play Darkest Dungeon?
I can't say that I have. Starts Googling.
I was going to say, I like that. I like that you just go right into starts Googling. So for anyone who hasn't played Darkest Dungeon, it's a PC game, or at least it was originally.
9 out of 10, baby. Wow.
Yeah, it came to PlayStation 4. It's a roguelike. So basically what you do is you get a group of 4 characters, different classes, and you go through these kind of labyrinthine dungeons trying to destroy evil that's within them. And as your characters like get through these levels, they get stronger, but they also can contract diseases, things that make them like have a lower percent chance to hit. And they can also get like really crazy, stressed out and fearful and go insane. So you lose a lot of characters. So it's good not to get attached to any specific one. And then there's a thing called the Darkest Dungeon at the very end of the game. I got to that point with my group. I got them all to level 6, which is kind of hard in and of itself. And then like a few of them freaked out in the first few rooms and we couldn't beat like the Darkest Dungeon. The game is so stressful. It's like kind of XCOM-y in that like you feel the stress and the pain, but like the victories that you get like will make you collapse and pass out because you're like, I barely won that. And you're like,
so it's like Fire Emblem meets Oregon Trail.
Dude, yeah, man. Dude, that's a really good way of putting it. I really like that. Yeah.
I like this artwork. This is different.
Oh, it is. Artwork is amazing. It stands out. I personally really like it, but I like stylized stuff. You know, I like Yorn.
I'm getting a Battle Chasers kind of vibe from it.
Yes, a little bit. And I really don't say this lightly, one of the greatest narrators of any game ever. It's perfect. It's so good. And he narrates the combat and stuff too. He'll be like, a decisive blow, and like stuff like that. And you're like, oh, I did it. And then it'll just be like, oh man, it's so good. I highly recommend.
$6 on Steam. I'm clicking buy right now.
it is really good, but it will also like test your own personal mental state because it becomes so difficult. But I love it. It's really great. But the fun thing about all of this is that Darkest Dungeon 2 has now been announced. They kind of showed the primary kind of group of characters or classes from the last game. They didn't really show too much else. I'm really interested to see what they did with, all those characters, potentially new classes, like new dungeons and different abilities and stuff, because a lot of it was like making your 4-player group like really jam well together. And it was so much fun if you got to get like this kind of combination, because every character has a place that they prefer in the order. So like if you get a Hellion, she's like this kind of barbarian woman with this tall like pole arm axe thing. She likes to prefer to be like in the front or the second spot usually, so she can use her melee attack. Because if she's in the 3rd or 4th spot, she can't melee as efficiently. But she has moves that will push her forward. She'll have moves where she'll do damage and she'll fall back within the group. So there's a lot of like little intricacies to think about while you're playing it. And it was definitely a game I almost nominated for Game of the Year back a couple years ago. I put it in our Game of the Year like little build up, the little video for the intro to it, but I'm really excited about it. Levi, as someone who knows nothing about this game, what do you think?
It looks cool. I like the art style and it looks fun. I haven't seen it in action, but I mean, we're not sponsored here, but I'm clicking buy, baby.
Yeah, Red Hook Studios, we love you. Basically, what I'll say is this. I don't have a rumble mouse, but the action on the screen looks so good and you can feel it. It almost feels like I have a rumble mouse, because like when they hit someone, you feel every blow, or when they hit you, and it's just like, oh man.
Is a rumble mouse a real thing?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I think they have them like gaming mice. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat, and I was like, I gotta talk about that for a second, because I love to laud these indie games like Darkest Dungeon and oh my gosh, why am I blanking on it right now? The game, Divinity Original Sin 2, Levi. Mm-hmm. Indie games that are like AAA quality, even though they don't have like, well, Divinity does, but like Darkest Dungeon doesn't have like, you can do infinite things in it, but there's like definitely a campaign to do. I don't know. They're also just incredible. And like you see all these other AAA games coming out with like problems and stuff. You're like, but there's this team who just sat and worked on this thing and made it really good. And now they're making a sequel, and it's like,
well, it just goes to show they're uninfluenced by, greedy corporate people that only want sell, and they know what the gamers want.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they're really good. And I'm glad that it did well enough to warrant a sequel, because sometimes with these groups, like I think it's like the guys at Studio MDHR who make Cuphead. They're probably making Cuphead too, but at the same time, they could make something else, and they might make something else. And it's like with Red Hook, they probably could have made something else, but they're like, we're passionate about this and we want to make more of it. And like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Some really good streams back in the freaking Darkest Dungeon just like hurt my heart. Oh my god. Levi, ever heard of a game called Scalebound?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think I know where you're going with this.
It sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so Scalebound, a game that Microsoft was showing off for a super duper long time. And they're like, hey, this is coming on Xbox One, and you better believe it. There's one year we had a cinematic. It was like a Dragon Rider guy who had like headphones like this, which was kind of weird. Then the next year they showed off some gameplay, and then they're like, hey, we're canceling it because the expectations are too high. Now it
Expectations
sounds
are too high.
that's what they said. And you know what?
Is that a bad thing?
Between this and Fable Legends, remember that game that was like Evolve? Like I think we've talked about it. Those both got canceled because I think Microsoft was worried that they were going to paint the company in a bad light. But then the problem was they had a bad public perception because so many people were excited about this game, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not doing this anymore."
Why not just make a good game and then you would be a hero? You know?
I don't know. I don't know if it was one of those things where they're pumping money into it and they just didn't see it going the way they wanted to. Basically, what we've been hearing from like Nintendo Insider is that Scalebound may, in a way, get picked up by Nintendo. But thanks to our friend Rick Hogue, who's pretty great, he's a lawyer. He made a great video on this. He said that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get the same assets or the same game as we had before, because the Switch is great. But if you look back at that game, Levi, you probably recognize that probably isn't going to run portably. Like there's like 4 people on dragons, like flying around, shooting fireballs. It was like, it's probably not going to happen, which is totally fine. I just want to know, were you invested in this, and do you want to see this on Switch?
I honestly was never invested in this project. I know I heard about it. We talked about it a few times, but I've never been interested in it.
Sure.
Just because it seemed like vaporware to me.
Vaporware, that's the problem. Is like if you think that and then it literally gets canceled before you get to play it, it does seem like that. And you're like, oh, okay. I think Platinum Games, for me, they've always been hit or miss. And they make some good games, then they make some not great games, and then they're good games for me sometimes, or games I don't even like. So I was like, I don't really feel super bad about when Scalebound got canceled. At first I was really excited to play it because I was like, oh, I love dragons and stuff and Monster Hunter, and nowadays Monster Hunter has like my heart. But at the same time, it's like, well, I guess if they want to get it, like Nintendo's kind of swooping around and like taking these things that you wouldn't expect them to take and be like, hey, we're not the same console you would think we would be. And I think that's one of the reasons they want to do this. And they have a great relationship with Microsoft right now. I still don't understand the whole like Xbox Live on your Switch thing. Like, I don't understand how all that works. I feel like they're just going to like make a conglomeration together one day just to fight Sony. Just be like, we're buddies now. Like, you know, and there's like shaking hands, and Sean Layden's over there. He's like, oh. Yeah. Okay. So you don't care about Scalebound too much. Can you give me a hype check on it? Just because I feel like this
like out of 5, I don't know. I'd like to see what it becomes on the Switch, but I hope it doesn't become like a Monster Hunter, port type game where like you want something with the quality of Monster Hunter World and you get something with the quality of Monster Hunter Generations or whatever it was.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and I think that game still people enjoyed it on Switch, but it wasn't World, right?
I just can't stand all the loading screens. It's not for me.
And that's funny because like we got into the franchise like with this one, so we never had to deal with that. So like to me, I'd be like, wait, why are there loading screens? I'd be like, yeah, people they've always dealt with the loading screens. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like how Joe would have not played this game. He would have been like, nope, I'm not playing it. You ever play Lost Planet, Levi?
Yes. Yep.
Lost Planet 2 more specifically. I get vibes from this game like that, and I also get a little bit like from Anthem, like a little Lost Planet vibe. I love Lost Planet, mostly 2. Basically, for people who don't know, it's a third-person shooter. You get to fight these big monsters. You have guns and stuff, and you can like grapple around. Every good game's got to grapple, and I just want more games like that. I love the whole like co-op buddies fighting together to take down something big. That's really appealing to me. That's why Monster Hunter was so like, and that's one thing I'm worried about with Anthem because I'm like, man, their monsters aren't really as cool. You know what like the monsters are on such a display in Monster Hunter World. It's like, oh, here's Nergigante. He's incredible, and it's like, you're right. I love you, Nergigante. Kill me now. Yeah. Kind of crazy that Scalebound's coming back. Are there any other games, Levi, that got canceled for you that you'd love to see come back? Like, what was it? Ghost for Blizzard? They were making like a third-person stealth game with Nova from StarCraft.
Yeah, and it became Overwatch, I think, is what I heard.
Well, that's what Titan became. Maybe it was a combo.
Oh, Titan, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they not really Fable Legends, but if they could bring Fable back and actually do something with it.
Dude, mark my words, Fable's coming back. After God of War performed really well, single player, fantasy world, and Phil Spencer said, I want one of those. Trust me, Phil, it's coming back. Fable's coming back. It's gonna be serious. It's gonna be kind of fun, but it's gonna be serious. Just wait. They're gonna pump a ton of money into that. Oh man. I can't wait. I always wanted that Pirates of the Caribbean Armada of the Damned game. Remember that one, Levi? I really wanted that game to come out, and I was so sad that it didn't. I remember watching that like videos of it in college. I was like, oh my god, I can play as like it was very Fable-esque. You could be like kind of like a gun wielding hero, or you could be like some darkness like crustacean anchor wielding guy. And I was like, oh man, that seems really cool to me. I'm definitely gonna be that guy, the latter. Yeah, it just seems like no game is for sure canceled anymore. It seems like anybody at any time could just resurrect a freaking game. Like, that'd be cool. Anyway, Scalebound, I guess for me, I'm right there with you, Levi. Maybe 4 or 5. I just didn't really care about this game, and I didn't like the whole like mix in with like the headphones, and like it was kind of medieval though too. Did that bother you at all?
Yeah, because I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so you're gonna fight this big thing. He's like, put the headphones on. I was like, yeah, and I was like,
it's like Microsoft was like, oh, this is what the next gen gamers want, is they want like a DJ with a dragon. It's like that's not what we wanted.
Nope, that's not what we wanted at all, Levi. I don't want it. Okay. Let's see here.
Lucio's great because he's his own person.
Yeah, that's so.
We don't need him riding a dragon. Thank you.
Yeah, did you know they made an actual cereal for him?
No, really?
Lucio's? Yeah, I think you can buy them. I don't know.
It's probably a hot topic.
Overwatch is such an interesting beast, and the fact that it's still kicking the way it is, along with all these other, and then they have battle royales and stuff. Now Apex is here, which is doing incredibly well, and you still play Overwatch from time to time, right?
I do, yeah, quite a bit.
Do you think they would ever try to do, and I don't think it would ever really work, but do you think they're going to try to do some sort of battle royale thing?
I hope not, but I know that they have a lot of plans for Overwatch. I hope that's not one of them.
Sure. One thing I kind of want, and I'm going to say this, I don't want it to be Diablo 4 because people freak out when you like want something in a series to change in a big way. I want like an offshot of Diablo that has the perspective of Anthem, where you have like the characters you had in 3, but from a third person perspective, and you're killing like thousands of demons. Like how cool would that be? Like crank that camera down like that. That would be better than a mobile game, right, Levi?
Just have to wait for Warcraft 3 to come out.
What do you mean, like the remaster?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I guess that's true. Kind of, yeah. It's so crazy that Blizzard's like falling back on a lot of those like classic things so heavily.
They're reaching. They're in a really weird spot right now.
They're in a bad spot. I feel bad.
People thought that they were infallible, but they're showing their cracks.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's because their upper management and a lot of those people have like left or retired, and I don't know if it's easy to just say we could blame Activision, but it's the same with like Bungie. I'm waiting to see how Bungie does with like Destiny 3 without Activision support and see how like different it is. So same with Blizzard. I wonder if Blizzard will ever split off or if they'll just kind of hang out there and do their thing. I love Blizzard. I didn't even play a ton of World of Warcraft, but I love Warcraft. I love StarCraft. I love Diablo. I loved Overwatch. It's a beautiful mistress, but I played way too much of it. All right, Levi, we're changing it up today. We're changing it up from our usual schedule because we're moving into that segment of the show already called
Timekillers?
That's correct, Levi.
I'm just so confused.
That's okay. You're like, wait, he's changing it up, but he's going like early with it. Like I said, it's going to be a shorter show today because we have some good time killers to talk about here. Levi, what have you been killing time with?
Oh boy. All right. Resident Evil 2.
11 days ago.
Shut up. Tune into our Twitch channel. Final Fantasy 9. Just started it. It's great to have on the...
Who's your favorite character?
Just Vivi so far, but I don't know a lot of the characters.
Everybody loves Vivi. Have you gotten Freya?
No, I'm just starting out.
Okay.
Blank just became Stone, so...
Kills me. I wanted him to be on the team.
Is he completely just gone the whole rest of the game?
Yeah, I think until the very end.
Okay. Shiny hunting and Pokemon. It's actually pretty fun for me. It's a grind, but it's fun. What am I playing? Oh my God. Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
I don't know, yeah. Way too many games right now. I haven't even started God of War or Spider-Man yet, and I've had him since like Christmas, but we're getting there.
As he picks up Darkest Dungeon, he's like,
yeah, I know. I gotta hold off, but it's on my wish list.
In July, when you get to play it, you just be like, blah. Yeah, cool, man. Well, one thing that we share here to transition to me, we watched Avengers Infinity War together, and we did a commentary on it. Such a good movie. This is not to give Levi any guff, but like you can multitask when you watch that movie, at least for us, because we've like watched it enough. And talking through it was fun, but like at the same time, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's like it's pretty long, and you feel it. Like other movies don't always feel as long as that, but this, because they just are hopping around so much, and it feels like the weight of the world is on you. It's like, oh my gosh. And you know how it's going to end. Like the first time we watched it was kind of like, but now it's like, yep, this is not going to go well. It's going south pretty quick. But yeah, it's kind of fun to do that. And I know that we've had a recommendation for doing one of our podcast episodes, Levi, leading up to Avengers Endgame to be just a prediction show, which would be kind of fun. It'd be kind of like Trailer Master, but just kind of like.
Have you read all this Captain Marvel stuff going on?
No. What is it?
Well, I mean, like if you're just black, I mean, I put it in Discord today, but
I saw that. Yeah.
A bunch of trolls are just review bombing it. They're not official critics. It's just fans attacking it because it's supposed to take on like a feminist stance. And I'm like, what? Like, oh, they're encouraging little girls to go see it. So that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what made me tear up in freaking Wonder Woman. I was like, finally, like a better representative of like a female. Because like up until now, what has Marvel had? Black Widow and Scarlet Witch primarily. Like, finally, let's get a superhero in there that can like. Scarlet Witch can take a punch, but I mean, like, who's gonna throw out a punch? Be like Superman. Like, it's the same thing.
There's been some like official statements coming out now. They're like, it's fresh, it's nice, it's a good origin story. So I'm like, okay, good. I'm sure. Because at first I was like, what the F is going on? We live in a culture where people are so quick to hate that, and also like, and I haven't seen Captain Marvel. I also have not played Anthem. There's been a ton of hatred for that game yet. I haven't played it yet, and the game isn't officially out yet. But for the people who got to play it early, they're like kind of ripping it apart, and it's like, I get it, but that's why they did this, so that way they could take this week and probably fix a lot of things. But we'll see if it's like fundamental problems, because next week we'll be on the show and I'll be talking about it because I'm gonna play a ton of it because I'm looking forward to it for a long time. But like everything, even with this channel, people, I beg you, if you want to watch something, go in fresh. If you see a timestamp that you should skip, or if you see a trailer or a freaking thumbnail, or just stay off IGN, go in and make your own opinion first, okay? Mm-hmm. If you need us to tell you if it's worth seeing or playing or not, I completely understand that. But just tweet us or text us, because like, I don't want to spoil stuff for you, but at the same time, like, spoilers are on you. Your enjoyment of a film or a game is on you. You shouldn't let other people completely influence you. We'll give you the information, but at the same time, like, it's going to come down to what you hold dear and like what means the most to you in a game or a movie, because like, it just bugs me so much that like people are so quick to hate stuff. And it's like, what is the good in it? Is there any good in it? Can you tell me something that's good about it? I have a Google phone. I get cards, and like, they're like news cards, and literally every single day it's like, this famous actor like leaked something about Endgame. And I'm like, I was like, stop showing notifications for Endgame. I don't care. Yeah. I'm not going to click it. I don't want to see it. Yeah, I feel like it's getting so like hard to do, even though I don't like watch regular TV anymore. Mm-hmm. It's still just difficult. Like, I have to stay off the big sites and just wait, and not everybody can do that. I completely understand. And not everybody wants to do that, but like, spoilers and media blackout is on you. So I think that's just what drives me crazy, though, is like the clickbait title is Captain Marvel gets blasted. And it's like, you click it and you're like, well, these aren't real reviews. It's like trolls that are mad that women are like in power, empowered. Yeah. Or they'll like, somebody will see like a trailer, or someone will post like a review on that or a game or something. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe you spoiled this. So like, don't watch anything. Like, don't everything. It could be considered a spoiler. You could be like, hey, there's a cat in Captain Marvel. People be like, that's a huge spoiler. It's like, you gotta calm down. Like, everybody just take a deep breath. Humans made this. There's going to be faults. There's also going to be good things in it. Try to see a bit of both. If something really sucks, though, we'll tell you. Like, I'm going into Anthem with an open mind. I don't believe in people that, hate on stuff just to hate on stuff. But if it does have a fundamental problem, then we got something to gripe about. Sure. Totally. Yeah. I just think, like, in a weird way, Fallout 76 helps Anthem. Like, the last big game like this. And I'm not saying it's the same by any stretch. I have no problem ripping apart Fallout 76. Well, that's because it was just, that was rough. I just feel bad because, like, and for the developers, and I'm sure this isn't always the case, but time is money, right? And so sometimes they're probably forced by their publishers to get the game out, even if it's in a rush state, because they need to make money on it. And it's unfortunate because, like, a game like this, it's like they probably had to put it out earlier than they wanted to. They probably, I'm sure in some cases, you want as much time as you possibly can with a game. But sometimes you just need to like get it out there and have people play it. It's hard. It sucks. But again, if it's bad, I swear I will tell people it's bad, right? Like, but if it's good, I'll tell you that too. Captain Marvel, though, I know a lot of people are just going to compare it to other superhero films, specifically Wonder Woman. And I know sometimes people are like not okay with it just comparing like 1-to-1. The problem is
there has not been a lot of good female superhero films up until now. Wonder Woman's like the only good one. Catwoman, Elektra. I feel like that's all I have to say. Like the horrible films. So like, not saying that if Captain Marvel's better than those, it's a good film. It's just like, keep in mind that for like little girls or boys who'd see Catwoman or Elektra might not be the greatest like role model. You know, maybe Captain Marvel's a better role model. That'd be great. Wouldn't that be cool, Levi? Like, it's a good role model.
Yeah, and I mean, I also read like someone was dogging on Alita. Alita's got a lot of back and forth right now. I haven't personally seen it. I want to see it. Maybe we should go to a Tuesday show, you know, or
Dude,
something.
I said that. I was like, I will see that, but I'd only see it for like a $5 Tuesday. I'm sorry, Alita.
It's just because, and people are like saying that MCU has like created like this, you know, bar, and it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. MCU it isn't everything.
No, you're right.
But
yeah, clearly they proved that with like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Like, both performed pretty well, especially like commercially. It's like they do different things.
But I mean, like, if you want your film to be above that bar, that so-called bar, then make something worthwhile. Make something that gets people excited about it.
Yep.
People aren't just crazy fanboys for Marvel because it's good shit.
I was thinking about this the other day. With Marvel, it's so interesting because their worst film, I think you could argue, is forgettable. Like, I think a lot of people say like Thor: The Dark World or maybe like Incredible Hulk are the worst, but like they're not like horrible to watch. You can still watch them. There's things in them that I really don't like, but there's still some good stuff, and I wouldn't call any of them like below a 6 or a 5. Like, you know what I mean?
It's just a skipper for me.
Sure. Yeah, but like, think about that. Like, in like 20 films, there's been like 1 or 2 that you're like, I could probably skip it, but like every other film has been pretty good, right? Like, that's pretty impressive. Like, that's a pretty high caliber, and I just don't want.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I just don't want DC to be reactionary anymore. Marvel, they're trendsetters. Like, that was the whole point. Is they just like found something that worked with Iron Man, and then they just kept making it, and it was like, yep, this works. Yeah. Good for us.
I forgot to mention too that I restarted Naruto.
Oh my gosh, Levi.
And I'm in the middle of the tuning exams again, and I'm loving it again.
I
won't stop.
I need to go back to watching Dragon Ball Z, but I restarted My Hero Academia, and I love it so much it makes me want to swear. I love almost every aspect of that show, and I think if you like anime at all, you should try to.
Well, that's what made me want to rewatch Naruto again, because I just love backstories on characters. And
I'm working on an anime show right now, which Stephen Purefoy, I commissioned the title for him, and it looks fantastic. It looks incredible. But Levi, maybe we could have you on someday. But anime obviously runs in our blood. I started like Naruto back in high school. I remember like seeing it for the first time. I was like, what is this? Because like I was used to like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, but like then Naruto was there. I was like, whoa, this is like, they're swearing and there's like blood and stuff. I was like, what is this? Mm-hmm. But like Naruto to me felt really like good over like a decade. But My Hero like stirs emotions in me that Naruto would occasionally do, but it's because My Hero is so condensed. Like, Naruto is so long. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, it takes forever for them to do anything in that show. And I love it. It is probably my favorite anime. But My Hero is catching up quickly because like I could just watch 3 or 4 episodes in a blink of an eye. It's just like, oh my god. Ugh. I love it. But I'm glad you're watching Naruto again. Chunin exam.
I agree. I was pissed to get to the end of season 3 and I was like, where's season 4?
The show makes me tear up, not on an episode basis, but like episode to episode, but like pretty frequently. My Hero, please check it out. I don't want to blow it out of proportion, but it's just, if you like any Shonen Jump stuff, it's like that condensed, and it's very well done. And the dub is excellent as well. The voice acting is just beautiful. I love it. I watched Overlord, Levi.
Oh, yikes. How was that?
It wasn't like bad. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. Don't worry. But basically, it is a retelling kind of World War II story where some infantrymen crash down in this little town, and they have to take out this radio tower so the planes can come in and do stuff. But there's also some nefarious, like creepy stuff going on there too, where people are getting like resurrected and there's like zombie stuff. The issue I had with it is that not that it isn't worth the R rating or that it's got a good budget, because it does. It just doesn't lean into the scary stuff enough. And I watched this with headphones on in here like by myself, and they had a few jump scares, but that was it. I felt, and even I don't like horror stuff, I felt like they should have leaned into it way more than they did. It feels kind of like an afterthought. Like the finale deals with it, but throughout I was like, oh, they're like building this up like Jurassic Park style, but I just never saw the T-Rex. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is fine. So
but the trailer looks scary.
Yes, the trailer was honestly, and I'm so sorry. The trailer is better than the movie to me. I love it. It's Hell's Bells by AC/DC, and it's just like there's a really good cadence to it, and just everything feels very visceral. But this movie it's like a 6 or 7. If you're gonna watch it with some people. But
is this based on the video game?
No, Overlord. That's like Sauron, right? You're basically Sauron in that game. No, this is like something completely different. So it's fine. It's totally fine. Let's
and you're also killing time with Jump Force, right?
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing about Jump Force. I had planned for sure to get it, right? I don't think is it full price? Like
I'm not gonna pay full price after what
I'm sorry.
seen.
and the thing is too, I come from it knowing and playing the Ultimate Ninja Storm series, which I really enjoyed, but I found myself burning out on them super quickly. They looked incredible, and this one looks good. It looks kind of weird with like trying to figure out an animation style that works for everybody. But it's very similar to that. And if you've ever played Ultimate Ninja Storm, it's basically like it's 2 people on a screen fighting back and forth, and there's just like dashes, a few super moves, and an ultimate. And there's more to it than that. But to me, it was like,
yeah. I guess what bugs me about these fighting games too is like it's like, oh, new Ninja Storm comes out at $60, and then in 2 months you can get all 3 Ninja Storms in a bundle for like $20 on Steam.
It's weird. Like, even though I'm not a huge fighting game fan, I would almost rather have this be like an Injustice or Marvel vs. Capcom with anime characters. And I know there are some out there kind of like that, but not like Midoriya and stuff like from My Hero is in there. But I don't know if All Might is, and All Might is like the bigger sell to me. I'm like, oh, yeah. But Yu-Gi-Oh! I had to watch how he fought because I was like, how's Yu-Gi-Oh?
It's weird. Like, it's weird.
I'm like, how do you? Also, by the way, that show Yu-Gi-Oh! I finished it recently because I never finally finished it. It ends so abruptly. It feels so weird. It's just
that is so bad.
It's so bad.
It's great.
Yugi's like, looks like we're going on more adventures or whatever. It was like done. I was like, what? Like GX kind of was better than that. I was like, oh my god.
And doesn't Yugi like have to kill Yu-Gi-Oh! And like it's
he has to defeat him in the battle. Yeah, it's all like, and then Yami's got a different real name. It was a whole thing. Yeah, it's weird. Up until like almost the end of that show, Kaiba still doesn't believe in like his heritage or magic, and he's like, these illusions are really good, and he just is always like, shut up, you nerds. And it's like, dude, stop being so mean. Yeah, that. What else? Played a little Dragon Quest Builders, the first one. I'm trying to beat that game still because the second one's coming out, and I kind of want to play it on Switch with like my sister or anyone who wants to play. I like it, but it is freaking long. That game is so long.
It's really. I've started it like 3 times.
Do you own it, or did I lend it to you?
I do own it. Yeah, I do own it on the Switch now. One of the first games I bought for the Switch, actually, when it came out.
Perfect Switch game. It's so good. I like it way better than Minecraft, even though it's very similar to it. I dig it. I dig it. See what I did there. I'm so sorry. And then that's pretty much been it. I've just been kind of working on stuff, so I haven't really had time to, play many games. Oh, like Kingdom Hearts 3, I beat the secret boss. So I felt good about that. So I don't have to go do all this crap for the ultimate weapon, which is insane and nuts. And I was like, screw that, man. Like, I'm not going to do it. How far are you through the game, Levi?
I actually haven't picked it up since the last time I played it on stream.
What world were you on?
I had just beaten Toy Story.
Okay, so you're pretty early on.
Yeah, I'm glad that I have it now. I just feel like I just don't really want to play it right now.
Sure.
You got to be in the mood for kind of a game like Kingdom Hearts because it's very repetitive.
Sure. So. Yeah. I felt like it was one of those games like that in Final Fantasy 15. After I beat it, I was like, okay, this thing exists. I played it and I beat it. I feel good about my life. Like, it's just like, oh, thank God, it's finally here. I did do a review and discussion on it. It's like 20 minutes long. It's pretty long, but Kingdom Hearts deserves like a lot of time. Like, I try to be quick with it, but it was still like, there's so much to discuss. And IGN ruined most of it with showing all the stupid worlds.
Apex Legends is doing pretty well for itself.
They just passed 25 million players, and they passed like 2 million or 2.5 concurrent. And apparently, back in the day, what I was hearing is that Fortnite, it took them a month to do that. Now, obviously, Fortnite didn't like come out of nowhere and do the Battle Royale thing. They had like the other like Save the World thing, and then they added the Battle Royale. But Apex, I think, is doing well for EA too, because like if Anthem's not doing well. But no one had any expectations for Apex. They didn't know it existed. There's like, here's this game. I hope you like it. It's like, Okay.
It's pretty fun. Yeah. I mean, I'm suck at it, but
yeah,
I'd like to play it again with you. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it some more. We're gonna play it on the big charity stream this weekend. If you're watching this on Saturday, we're doing a full day stream, 12 hours, 9 to 9 Eastern Standard Time for Canines for Warriors, basically pairing wounded veterans with dogs. It's fantastic. I'm working with the people over at Plus One Player. If anybody remembers Manny, who's no longer there, he works at Bethesda now, but Steve and everybody over there, great individuals. So if you're watching this on Saturday, there's a chance we're still streaming. If you missed it, ask us, and there should be like a long stream. If you just want to like chill out and watch a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to be there for some of it, because I'm going to be there. They've got an operation over there, Levi. They've got like 5 or 6 people working for them. I was like, this is impressive. They're all coming into like our Google Hangouts chat, and I was like, oh my God, like, it's like, geez, you guys there's a lot of you. It's like, this is pretty cool. That's what I'm going to play Apex again. I'm going to play it on PC, so that's going to be real good because I'm really good at shooters on the PC. Haven't played one since like Overwatch. All right, Levi. It's time to move into that segment of the show that we like to call community feedback and questions. Love you always say like and questions because I look for it in like when I'm editing. I'm like, yeah, that's the part. Levi, I asked our lovely Legionnaires because we're talking anime and you're here, and when it's just us, we could talk anime. It's just a simple question: favorite anime character and why? If you didn't get to respond to this, leave it in the comments. We want to know. The and why is the biggest part.
10-10.
Get out. No, remember there's like one episode where like Lee's training and out of nowhere she's just like, it's like they had to partner her with Lee like when they were kids to be like, oh, there's a romantic subplot there, but it never goes anywhere. It's like
neither does 10-10.
What is 10? Who does she end up with in Boruto?
I don't remember, but I just know that like she never got the shining moment that she was,
No, she's like a discount or a diet version of, oh my gosh, who's the redhead in Fairy Tail? Did you ever watch Fairy Tail, Levi?
No, I started that show. I just never finished it.
It's pretty decent. They just never put enough like seasons on Netflix or whatever. What is her name? Her name is, oh my God, there's a lot of them. This is really good podcasting. That's not it. How far did you get in the show, by the way?
Oh, just the first couple episodes, and then I was like, I don't know how I feel about this art style.
Oh no, not Flare Corona. Yeah, you weren't a huge fan of it.
No, not really.
Urza Scarlet. Urza Scarlet. She could like summon weapons and stuff. Kind of Gilgamesh from Fate's Day. Anyway, we got to move on with these answers here.
I have a question for you.
I have a question.
How's the new Far Cry game?
Too soon for new Far Cry. I didn't pick it up, and I think it was smart to put it at a $40 price point. I've heard kind of mixed things about it. I just don't know why they rushed it, and it felt kind of like when they did Far Cry Primal, even though that was pretty different. I feel like everybody's just trying to do that post-apocalypse thing, try to make some quick money off it. Yeah, not that it's bad. Missile Mage going for some flattery here. He said, my favorite anime character is Jimmy Good. Oh, thank you so much. I wish I were in it one day. I honestly want to get into voice acting and acting and stuff one day, but I would love to be a voice actor, make people smile like freaking Chris Sabat, the guy who does Vegeta, All Might. I love him. Our friend Lynn, huh?
That's the same dude?
It's the same dude.
Shut up, I didn't realize that.
He is incredibly talented because not only does he do the duality of All Might, but then he does Vegeta and Yamcha and Piccolo. He's done a ton of stuff. It's like
top comment on like Super Smash Bros. Is like, please have Goku in there and then please have a Vegeta skin.
Oh my God, yeah, that's how they'd have to do it. Which, by the way, I love Super Smash Brothers. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I beat the freaking not Child of Light, the World of Light mode finally, and I fought both Galeem and Darkon at the end or whatever.
I just beat her.
Well, that's a game from Ubisoft. But did you at the end of that, Levi? Did you fight each one separately, or did you fight them together?
I started whittling them down both like at the same time. Whatever one was nearest to me, which one wasn't doing the crazy attacks. So I just started whittling them down, and then I killed one, and then I killed the other. Okay,
but I think you can go and like leave them and do each of them alone, like fight each of them alone instead, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, I love Super Smash Bros. I think it's a great game, and I'm excited for Joker to come out. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up Joker at this point because like I just have to get back into it. I think like if our chat and our Legionnaires want to still do our like tourney, then I'll get back into Smash. But right now I'm just kind of like, eh. Anyway, Lynn Redder, one of our great artist friends, she says, "Oof. That was a really tough one. I'm going to have to go with my first anime love, Vash the Stampede. I personally really enjoy the archetype of the bumbling idiot with incredible skill/power that people constantly underestimate. If anyone doesn't remember who that is the guy from Trigun. He's wearing like all red, and he's got a gun. My problem, and I told her this too, I never fell in love with like a lot of gun animes, Levi. I don't know if you were that way too, because like the fight scenes usually weren't as cool to me, you know, if you're just shooting, but still.
Well, I mean, like I think of Yu Yu Hakusho, and that's an awesome
anime. But that one isn't a gun anime. Like he shoots like little energy beams, right? But everybody else does like close range fighting.
That's a classic.
Does Chris Savatu freaking not Yusuke Urameshi, the guy with the red hair? I don't know who that guy is. Maybe somebody. Good show. I remember Tim, our friend Tim, lent that to me in the beginning of college, and I watched a bit of it. I got through like the Togura stuff or whatever, like that freaking arena thing, and then they're like, he's only a level like B rated demon. And I was like, what? Like this show's nuts. New Year's Steven Purefoy, we're talking about him earlier, another artist friend of ours, just sent me a picture of young Gaara, because I asked him, I was like, you have to specify young or old Gaara. And then he said, I just like his conflict and mental state. Plus, he's a total badass with that sand spirit. I was like, yeah, you know, for me, he's like the first scary villain that's a kid. He's got those eyes. He's got his mother sand. He's got Shikaku. It's like, don't mess with Gaara. Like, I love that so much. You love Gaara too, don't you, Levi?
Yeah, I do, but he gets so drawn out in the first. I just realized like how much he gets drawn out.
He's a threat. He's a big threat.
They just paint him out to be such a villain, but they really should be focusing on more like Orochimaru. But
yeah, he's just a lot of hatred. Wes Bates, Mecha Rekka on Twitter says, this guy shows a picture of Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, and he said, also, this guy, Ippo Makunoichi, in case you haven't seen Hajime no Ippo. It looks kind of like Little Mac, almost, like a boxer. Last but certainly lastly, our friend Ryan Lehman says, the one and only Edward Elric. There he said.
That's mine too.
He is smart, thoughtful, and caring, plus he is an alchemist. That's a really good pick.
Yeah, I'd have to say Edward Elric and Shikamaru. I love Shikamaru.
I quoted him today. I told someone that they like wanted to meet up, and I was like, oh man, doing all this stuff is such a drag. Like, I love Shikamaru. Yeah, I want to talk about my favorite ones, but again, you'll have to wait for the show. Even though there's just so many, it's like I could do like 2 hours worth of being like, this one's my favorite, this one's my favorite, this one's my favorite. Yeah. But as a lot of people know, I just love Itachi. Itachi Uchiha is like one of the greatest like anime, just characters in any fiction. I freaking love Itachi. I love him so much. He makes Sasuke look like such a little such and such. Like, Sasuke was like, my family, you killed my family, you made me kill my brother, and I'm not gonna do what he wanted. I'm like, shut up, Sasuke. Like, I love you, Sasuke, but you gotta shut up. Oh my gosh. Anyway, question comes in from Missile Mage. Are there any games or movies that you were really uninterested in or thought would be bad that ended up really surprising you? For him, he said it was Horizon. The story trailer really de-hyped me on the game, and it ended up being one of my favorite games this generation. Levi, a game or movie that you were just like, I'm checked out, and then you saw it, and you're like, this is pretty freaking great.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of like all the stuff that we've talked about on our podcast, and I know I've trash stuff, and I've been like, oh, I'm really excited now.
Okay, think on it. I'll start with mine. One of them. The first time, I think this was at Sony's E3 press conference a few years ago, they showed Monster Hunter World, and I was so disinterested in it. I was like, okay, they got a grapple, and it's a T-Rex. I'm like, but it looked like whatever. And then when I played it in the beta, I thought, oh my gosh, I love this so much. And I went from like a 2 or a 4 out of 10 to like a 9. I was just like, I love this. So that's probably one for me that was like really changed the game.
Yeah, I had no preconceived notions of Monster Hunter, so I can't really use that one.
Well, neither did I. I just from the trailer, I was like, man.
God dang you, Missile Mage, every week.
I know, and he always jokes about that because he's like, oh, Levi's gonna get stumped. I'm sorry. He's got good questions, Missile Mage.
I mean, all I can think of like are movies that were disappointed right now, or
Missile
games
Mage,
that were disappointed.
Yes, he always writes in, and I really appreciate it. Andrew, thank you. Like, you keep this going here, and it's great. It's really good. Thank you.
A game or movie that I thought was gonna be bad, but it ended up being really good. I mean, Aquaman. I thought it was going to be a trash fest, and it was decent.
Yeah,
it was halfway decent.
Yeah, I really.
I thought Wonder Woman was not going to do well, and it turned out really well.
Yeah, movies are harder because I feel like we get so much more from the trailers because that's how you interact with it. Whereas a game, like once you actually play a game, it can feel so different.
Oh, Overwatch. I had no interest in Overwatch at all. 0. And then I believe like you actually started playing it and got me into it. You and Joe got me into it. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm a Blizzard fan, huge Blizzard fan. And so when I was hearing about it, I was like, F no, I don't care. Looks really dumb. And then I started playing it with you guys and I was like, I mean, that was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So.
Yep, 2016. Almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Breath of the Wild is also that way for me. I was like, that looks all right. And then I finally played it. I was
That's right. Yeah.
Is incredible. And I have like this weird relationship with Zelda and Link and stuff where I always felt bad playing Link in Super Smash Brothers because I didn't play any like Zelda games.
It sounded like a good TV show right there. Like I had a really weird relationship with Zelda and Link, and it was like a Three's Company.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock my Triforce.
I think I've told this story, but I remember hearing my mom say that she was in a store with my grandma once, and my grandma saw the game, one of the Zeldas. She's like, "Oh, Zelda, that's a pretty name. Maybe we should get this for Jimmy." And my mom's like, "I don't think so." So like, there's a branching timeline there where my mom just like kept me from like getting to ever play Zelda, and I came to it later. And I was like, "That's all right though." But yeah, Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda game to me. It's just that game. It says here are all the rules of what makes just not only a Legend of Zelda game, but also a video game. And they're like, screw your rules. They're like, you want to climb anywhere? Freaking do it. It's like
people are such big fans of Majora's Mask, but I cannot tell you how I probably started that game at least 10 times, and to this day have not finished it.
Yeah,
and I don't understand why I don't like it. I just don't.
Sure. Well, it's made pretty quickly. You know, it was made with all assets from the first game and stuff.
It's just, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's
okay. Not for me, but some people really like it.
That's okay. Hey, you know what else people really like? Freaking Ocarina of Time. No, I'm just kidding. Not 2 weeks in a row. I see why people love it, and at the time it was great. But that field, there's nothing in it. There is absolutely nothing in that field except to fight things at night. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but great question. I'm trying to think of any movies for me.
It'll dawn on me, and I'll be like,
just tweet them, or Discord.
I'll either tweet it or comment it,
Yeah. You know, I think I don't know if I was nervous about Rogue One, but after seeing Rogue One, I was like, yep. And obviously, I'm a huge Vader fan, like, you know, so I'm really biased for that. But even without the Vader sequence, I really enjoyed that movie, and I think we're getting a Rogue One prequel, Levi. Believe it or not, it's like, okay.
Oh, I thought they were done with standalone Star Wars for now.
Star Wars is so all over the place. I feel like everything. Well, not that Star Wars has always been completely sacred, because some people just like hate the prequels. But I feel like Star Wars, or you look at like Blizzard, like all these things that used to just be like, this is like the best of the best. And now it's just like, I don't know who to trust anymore. It's like, I just don't even, I keep seeing these freaking videos pop up about The Last Jedi. People are not done hating that film. And I get where they're coming from, because there's a lot of logical stuff that people pointed out to you that you're like, oh yeah, I get you here. But
yeah, like Leo last summer at his freaking bachelor party. Like I like parts of that film a lot.
Yeah.
And there are just parts that I understand that they're trash, but
it's so crazy. Like, and not that like every film needs to be homogenized to be like what is good, because we're all different people. It's all subjective. No such thing as a completely objective review. However, it's crazy to think there's like so much time and money, all these people like script writers and all these people who are making this movie, and some of the stuff to be just so bad. And I wonder if people on the project were like working on scenes and stuff, and they're just like doing the casino stuff and thought, this is not good. Like, and they're just like, but I can't say anything. Like, I'm getting paid to be here. You know, like there's like a cameraman who's just like, uh-oh. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's tough. And if you're all in on it, you know, you're all close to it. It's hard to see it until later, but we'll see what, I still think 9 is going to be just fan service, just like the whole time. And
it better be.
there's nothing wrong with fan service. People are like, oh, they're just like catering and pandering to people. I'm like, they're just telling the people who've loved it forever. They're like, hey, we hear you.
When they, I mean, let's call it what it is. They tried to do something different with Last Jedi.
Yeah,
they really did. And then people hated it. So what do you want?
Yep.
Do you just want like Yoda and the flipping around for 3 hours, is that what you want? Like,
that's what I want. Yeah, personally.
Yeah.
I'll never forget seeing Attack of the Clones with you, Levi, in theaters. Yeah. And Leo was there, but he was with another group of people. I don't know why I'm bringing him up twice on the show today. Remember that? He was there. He like walked in. We kind of like, hey. And then you were like laughing nervously when Yoda was fighting. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I think that if I'm Disney, what I do is I keep making the same trilogy again and again with Star Wars. And then I use my Rogue Ones and my offshots to be like super nuts with it and go crazy. Because I'm like, if people hate this, stop announcing trilogies. Just make one. If it does well enough, make more. You know, like if The Mandalorian's great as a TV show, makes more.
I didn't really hate Solo. I know that I like really disappointed in it, but I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either. Solo had the unfortunate spot of being in both a space where not a lot of people cared about that origin story, and then also after, again, the most divisive 5 months after the most divisive Star Wars film of all time. So right there, it was like dead on arrival. And I think even Bob Iger said, like, yep, we realized we put out too many Star Wars films. Like, you can't do 2 a year. Just do it once a year. I don't like, it's not like Lord of the Rings are like, let's rush out that next one. It's just like, no, just take your time, guys. Like, drives me nuts. And I get you want to make money, but Disney's just going to make all the money this year. Aladdin. Well, we'll see about that. Lion King, Avengers, Frozen 2, like Toy Story 4.
Spider-Man, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, it's just, they're gonna make a lot of money. So stop messing around with Star Wars.
I will just never forgive The Hobbit.
It's not okay. See, that's why I tell people I care about Lord of the Rings a hell of a lot more than I care about Star Wars. That's because I watched Lord of the Rings at a very pointy time in my life. I was pretty young. It was like years 11, 12, 13. Levi, you're there too. And they spoke to me and they gave me hope. And it was beautiful. The Hobbit, all those movies aren't super great. And I'd love to see the Topher Grace cut where he made just like one movie. But I was just excited to go back there. Yeah, they took some like crazy ideas and added some characters. But
it just felt bloated to me.
Yeah.
I want to see a cut of it too. There are pieces of it that I like, but too many liberties, you know?
Sure. But like, it didn't ruin my childhood. Like so many people, especially Star Wars, they're like,
they had remade Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
But it's not like Star Wars was remaking anything. They just made another one in the continuing story, and it's on you, again, if you want to go see this and indulge in it. If it's canon, right? You know what? Make up your own canon. Because guess what? All this stuff's fake anyways. Like, it's all fake. It doesn't exist. Like, I feel like I have to tell people this. It's like, I get the emotions are real. It's like Disney, all right? I love Disney so much. But, like, when I think about it a lot, I'm like, I get what's going on here. But the magic is the feelings, all right?
I think the biggest problem is people are so tied to nostalgia, and people want the 10-year anniversary tours. They want the 10-year remake and the 10-year remaster and the re-release because
Disney wants you to think that.
Well, I mean, I just look at all these albums that or these bands that do like a 10-year tour, and they just really, really rely on nostalgia. And I think that because there was just such a big shift between leaving the 90s and going into the 2000s, and honestly, the 2000s just killed it. Music-wise, original movies, everything. Like, I don't think that we're ever going to get that kind of like spurt of creativity again, because look at it. Everything now is just rehashed over and over again. I'm a huge music lover, and I can't find anything that still speaks to me the way music did from 2000 to like 2010, maybe 2009.
Yeah.
I look at the writing that was done, and I'm like, people don't write lyrics like this. People don't make music like this anymore. It's so rehashed and it's so bland, and it's not even cynical, or it's not even it's not even that like I'm jaded. It's just that I can recognize now that like what was good and what was original and what was what's being rehashed now.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm about to go on a tangent.
I love it. That's what I tell you. It's the tributaries.
And the reason why I say that's because people have such a nostalgic feel to Star Wars, and it's like, I get that, but you have to try new things, and I applaud Last Jedi for trying new things. Yeah, they made a lot of missteps, but I was a really big fan of a lot of the inner dialogue between Kylo Ren and...
Really sticking with you, huh?
Ray.
Her name's Ray.
Daisy Ridley. I can't even think of her name. I really did like the dialogue. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I was a fan of it. Who cares if people don't like it? I get that.
I like those moments too, but then if like the best thing in a Star Wars movie is like the dialogue, like that's kind of not,
Yeah.
I think the problem, and I feel like it's so easy to get back to, but I think the problem is there's a few things introduced, insofar as like Force ghosts can use lightning, or a spaceship can go to light speed and take out a bunch of other spaceships, or bombers who like, when did they ever like add, like there's always been Y-wing bombers, but not like something that drops a bunch of bombs. It just feels like they introduced a lot of things that you would just never introduce in Star Wars, because there's so many issues you can have with them, because people going forward will just always be like, well, why don't they just do that? Why don't you just like take the spaceship full of nobody? And
but that goes back to like, why didn't an eagle just fly Frodo to Mount Doom?
That's because Gandalf told them, "Fly, you fools." He was trying to say, "Get on the Eagles." But guess what? The Eagles are not a taxi cab service, and if there would have been like 100,000 orcs there, they would have got shot down. They got shot down. It would have been a suicide run.
Please remake like Lord of the Rings, but like modern with like Ubers and like.
Oh my gosh.
Frodo tries to Uber the ring to Mordor.
I love those movies so much. But again, in summary, for me, conclusion: The Hobbit didn't ruin Lord of the Rings for me. Don't let Star Wars or anything like that, if they make new things or prequels or whatever, don't let it ruin something for you. Avatar, or sure, I would say Avatar. The Last Airbender is a film that I like have a vehement hatred for, because I love Avatar, The Last Airbender so much. It didn't ruin that show for me. That show is still friggin' incredible. It's just that like somebody botched it up, and you don't let someone who does suspense movies and thrills and twists make this type of movie, because you're just gonna ruin it. And if you want M. Night, let M. Night Shyamalan direct a Star Wars film. Let's just do it. Let's just do it, Levi. Let's just have him direct. He's like, it's a twist. Rey was sleeping the whole time. I'd have been like, perfect. I'd been like, you know what? Bravo.
People would die. There would be like riots in the streets.
He would get like hunted down, which is so sad, because it's not real. Like, we're freaking out about stuff that's just like pictures on a screen. It's just like, God, I'll kill someone who did this. It's just like, everybody calm down. All right.
It's just, yeah, and it's not like The Hobbit ruined it for me, but what I can't forgive is like the 3 movie thing. It was so unnecessary.
That was a movie. That was a WB thing or somebody else. Yeah. Like Peter Jackson. First off, Peter Jackson didn't want to do it. Second off, they're like, hey, we're making 2 movies, but no, you're gonna make 3 movies. And you watch behind the scenes stuff on that.
Is the corporate decision against that?
Watch some videos on it, man. There was like one, I forget what her name was, but she did like a 3-part one that was really good. But they talk about like, on the day, Peter Jackson just coming in and like mapping out scenes, and they talk about like it was almost like laying track in front of a moving train. And the fact that he made anything halfway decent is like a testament to him. Then again, I also watched Immortal Engines recently, which his wife, and Philip Boyens, not great, really boring. Oh, no. But he only wrote it with them. He didn't direct it. So
maybe like the story was
The story was also kind of boring. It was really boring. It was not great. It was like, like the whole life.
Didn't do well with King Kong either.
King Kong was fine. It's fine.
I wonder what worked so well for Lord of the Rings that didn't work for his other projects.
I think it was time. I think they had a ton of time, and I think they and people like to say this. It was like the biggest high budget production indie film ever made, because it wasn't like picked up like right away. A New Line helped out with it, and it has that feeling of like everyone was passionate, like on every front. Like the 2 guys who just like freaking like put chainmail together for like 2 years. It's like that was their job. They did it by hand, and this is like, I love it. Anyway, either way, we're gonna wrap up the show here. I said it was gonna be a short show. Of course, we're still going like an hour long.
Go for another hour.
I know.
Going crazy.
Please let me know, people, if you want a shorter show. I know some people have said like an hour and a half is kind of long. Some people are saying like, maybe you should do like a half hour. Some people like it being an hour and a half. I want to know, because like we could always shoot like 3 in 1 week and then have them parcel out over time. It wouldn't be as like newsworthy, but we just have to do topics like, today talking about Hobbit versus Star Wars or whatever. But please let me know. And if you ever have a question or a topic for one of these upcoming shows, just tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast to either of us. You can tweet at GoCritical, or you can tweet at me. I'm at JimmyGood013. But if you want to tweet at Levi, you can tweet at
Levi Fletcher.
Perfect. If you want to come hang out with us, as Levi alluded to earlier, come over to twitch.tv/critical reviews. We're hanging out over there. Levi's streaming through some Resident Evil, which we're going to put up on the actual channel here too. So if you do miss it and you want to watch along with him, he's been getting some great help from Fragadin, our friend Sean, which is wonderful, because that makes that game a lot more bearable, I would say. But yeah, and I'm streaming over there too as well. So cool. If you want to support the show, consider going over to our Spreadshirt. That is one great way to do it. If you do buy a shirt or anything like that, please tweet us a picture. We'd love to see it. Like, that would really make our days. And it's really good stuff. I really enjoy my It's All Citrus shirt. I wear that a lot, even unprompted. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Who made Darkest Dungeon?
Red Hook Studios.
We'll be waiting for our sponsor check. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We should tweet at them. Be like, hey guys, we love you. I love you guys. They're so cool. Please check out Darkest Dungeon. If you do anything this week, check it out if you haven't already. Anyway, I want to thank This Is Dale for our theme music. I want to thank Joran Evers for the art here. If you want to support him, go check out Niraj28 or at Jade Circle Art on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to support all of us at the same time, monetarily, I would just ask you throw us $1 on Patreon. Just $1 would be great if you want to, but you don't feel like you have to. Share us around if you can't do that. That'd be great too. I think that's pretty much everything, Levi. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to people?
Bye.
Bye.
Nope. Just be, just don't be a follower. Make your own opinion.
Oh, look at that. How did we lose all of our hundreds of subs? No, they're just like, we don't want to follow anymore. like, all right, yeah, we'll hit 1K one day. Just ain't today. Yeah, don't be a follower. That's right. Lead on, you beautiful people. And also remember to adapt and overcome. Bye-bye.